Now, there are strong indications that President Muhammadu Buhari is in a dilemma over whether to assent to the just re-amended Electoral Act. That's 11 days after receiving the bill from the National Assembly. The presidency disclosed last week that President Muhammadu Buhari is in a last-minute consultation with critical stakeholders as he races against time to take a decision on the bill. The House of Representatives also said there was no selfish interest in the passage of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill into law by the National Assembly. Now, joining us from our Abuja studio to discuss the dangers of President Muhammadu Buhari delaying on signing this Electoral Amendment Act Bill, zoning of the presidency, rationality of an Igbo president in 2023 is human rights activist Ikenga Ugochinyere. Great to have you here on Newsday. Ikenga, let's start it off from the fact that a lot of people were expecting that after the 2019 general elections, that the president will seek to make amends some of the shortcomings of the Electoral Act. And as it stands right now, we're in 2022, approaching another election cycle, and we are still hearing delays and the can is being kicked down the road. Talk to us about this.
Thank you so much. First thing first is very painful in the sense that in 2003, 2007, 2011, 2015, one of the key things the president talked about was electoral reform, deepening the electoral process. They talked so much about EU and the electoral process of that time, and he promised that if given the chance to lead Nigeria, he will ensure that the Electoral Act is strengthened. Now, we had a chance in 2015, 2019, but then in 2019, he claimed that the amendment was too close to the election period and so on and so forth, and there were typographical errors. But now that is about to end his tenure in the next few months or 1 year, and one had expected that he would have attached so much seriousness in signing this law. And it's very painful in the sense that the president knows the importance of this law, and that if we miss the chance of signing this law, it will mess our entire electoral process up, and it will weaken the hope of Nigerians of having credible election in 2023. And I want to say this, that we are nearing the expiration of the statutory timeline for signing this one. Now you have raised objections on some aspects. Parliament have amended it within days and sent back to the president. Now he says he's still consulting. There's one thing I want to take note here. If you want to do something, if you have the passion to do something, definitely you will agree with me that the president would have signed this law. And because yesterday we got intelligence that some governors of the ruling APC, one from the southeast, one from the north central that had an election that was alleged to have been rigged, and one from the north west have been meeting and mobilizing others to get the president not to sign the Electoral Act in view of the fallout of the FCT Council election. But we are begging the president, if this is the last good act he would do for this republic, to sign this law so that Nigerians can have an opportunity to have a credible election come 2023.
So, Ikenga, let me ask you, how can Nigerians get the president to sign, knowing right now that we can't afford any more delays?
First of all, I will call on the civil society organization, like they did during the time of Jonathan when they were mounting pressure for the Electoral Act to be strengthened, and like they have done in the past, that led us to having these enabling laws that have advanced our election. I want the civil society and I want key members of the opposition, not just issuing communique, even our members in the parliament, to start organizing themselves, to start mobilizing Nigerians, to take civil actions, to apply pressure on the president, seek both international pressure and local pressure, to make the president to understand that this is a national assignment, and let him look beyond party lines and party pressure, because I can understand that party members of the president are jittery in view of what happened at the FCT council election. But if you don't do this for the country, this goes beyond PDP and APC. You are going to leave a legacy that is going to lead us to, a mad and flawed electoral process that that can spare doom for the country. So opposition people, civil society groups, organized group, it's so painful that even the NLC, Nigerian Labour Congress, that once used to be vibrant, suddenly, it seems to be under the bed at this particular moment. Because this Electoral Act amendment has to do with everybody. It's not about party people. It's about every Nigerian. And I want Nigerians to take it with all manners of seriousness and start mobilizing, begging the president, using diplomacy, using civil action to get the president to sign this Electoral Act for the good of the country.
Yeah, thank you for that, Ikenga. For the sake of time, really briefly, let's get your thoughts on an Igbo presidency, on zoning and the clamor for the Southeast and Southwest to have representation in 2023.
I will be speaking first. You need to know by my position as the spokesperson of the opposition coalition. I will wait for the final decision of the party National Executive Committee and our governors. There, I'll be meeting very soon to take a final decision on the issue of zoning of presidency. But I must tell you on a personal note that the issue of Igbo presidency is long overdue. And while we wait for the decision of the National Executive Committee of the party, I think that it has come 2023, issues of equity and fairness must also be taken into consideration in choosing the next president. But having said that, competence, popularity and capacity is also very, very important and must be taken into consideration. But whatever is the decision of the National Executive Committee of the party, we are going to abide by that.
All right, human rights activist Ikenga Ugochinyere, thank you for joining us here on Newsday. Have yourself a lovely day.